Hey to the exclusive Chat and Chill. I'm Martin. I'm your host today. I'm happy to be here. Out of the top, I'm glad you are here. There are a lot of people that are having a hard time, and that's some of the things we're going to talk about today. It's the holidays. It's finally getting cold in Chicago, like for real cold. And so people aren't able to do even the limited things that we were able to do during the pandemic. And the holidays are upon us, and it's not going to be the same kind of Christmas and New Year's that we're all used to celebrating. A lot of adjustments have had to be made so that we can all be here for next Christmas and next New Year's and the next set of birthdays. And that's our goal, but it's hard to navigate for a lot of people, I think for all of us. And so today we've got two guests that are going to really touch on two of the things that play a big part in the way we celebrate the holidays and the way we manage emotions and difficult times, food and feelings. So I want to introduce our first guest. Chef Bly comes to us from his kitchen. We're going to be talking to him, and we're going to get a little food and a little conversation from him. Chef Bly, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome. How do you get to? Are you in Chicago?
No, I'm actually in Los Angeles. I'm in California.
You are in Los. I was going to say, why in the world would you have left Los Angeles?
Well, I was in Chicago for a while, and I got homesick. Came back to LA, and went back to Chicago, and I was like, okay, I need to go back. So I ended up moving back to LA and been here ever since.
Chef, can you turn your volume up?
Yeah. Is that better?
A little bit more, if you can.
What about now?
That's a little better, yeah. Just holler at me. I won't take it personally.
Got you.
So what role does food play in your life?
It's a major. It play a major role in my life because it's something that's therapeutic. It's something that I love doing. I tried other things. I tried being a cosmetologist, and that didn't work. But I always found that going back to my root was something that I love. My mother and my grandmother, they both were cooks and culinary chefs, and I just took what they taught me and just made it my own.
So that's a great transition to our next guest, and we're all just gonna chat and chill, literally. I want to bring in Marty Sellers, who kind of manages a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today, especially food as comfort, things that we find and employ to comfort us at this time. Welcome, Mr. Sellers, who is a counselor with specialty in family and marriage therapy. So welcome. You've got a background in ministry.
Yes, I do. Thank you for having me on this amazing show.
Oh, no, thank you for joining us. So you cover everything.
Well, I call myself a mental health hygienist because
and I've heard the term mental health hygiene. Talk a little bit about what that means, kind of that it's an active process.
Yes, just like we take a bath and we brush our teeth and we comb our hair, doing those things every day. I believe that we have to take care of our mental health every day as well, because those things help keep us grounded. So this platform today, discussing it, because my goal is to make mental health a common discussion, just like we eat. Just like we chat and chill, that we chat and chill about mental health. How are you feeling? How are you doing today? And not give the, blessed and highly favored. Right. Yeah, we all got that. But how are you really doing? What's going on, especially in this COVID fatigue that we're living in today?
And you know what, to that point, that's again, an active process, because I think a lot of people ask, how are you?
Right.
They really don't expect a response.
Right.
And they're not prepared for a response other than, I'm great, or, I'm blessed and highly favored.
Exactly.
And if you don't create that kind of space, the person who might need to tell you that they're not feeling blessed and highly favored that day.
Right. And even if I am blessed and highly favored, come on, there are days I don't feel blessed and highly favored. Yeah, come on. You know what I'm talking about? But it doesn't mean that I'm not blessed and highly favored. It just means I'm going through something right now, and that's okay.
Mhm.
We have not told and really encouraged our people, especially as Black men, to say, I'm not doing well today, and that's okay.
Chef Bly, how have you dealt with that when you encounter people? Because you are in, I spent a lot of time pre-pandemic. I spent a lot of time in LA. LA is not necessarily publicly a place where people deal with a lot of these things. You know, everybody's got 2 or 3 psychologists, psychiatrists, a life coach, somebody who sells them their crystals, and the person who puts the water in the moon. They've got all the people.
Right.
But they don't talk about it really publicly. Certainly, we don't anyway.
Mm-hmm.
How have you encountered that there?
I mean, it is noticeable, and you know, a lot of, I would say, men here in California, they will suppress, you know, their feelings and feel as though that going to counseling is something that they don't need to do. And I have noticed that a lot out here in California, where they just won't talk about it. And so it's something that, you know, we bring in Marty, and you know, we go to people like him to, you know, sit down, and as my cousin called it, is laying on the green couch. I mean, I don't lay on the couch anymore, but you know, it's a lot of times where, you know, just with, even now, I was talking to somebody, and I was saying, even now with this whole pandemic, it should be a whole lot of people laying on a whole lot of people's couches, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and people need to really get that out.
And the right couch. There's a lot of people finding comfort on couches that aren't helping them.
Right. But you know, just like we go to our favorite restaurants, we go to our favorite churches, we go to our favorite doctors, whatever. I think you have to find, I know you have to find the therapist that is right for you. In that regards, one that understands. You know, me as a Black male therapist, I represent only 1% of the entire therapy mental health field. 1%. That's why it's difficult for Black men to open up, because you know, we're like amazing unicorns that you try and find. I found one. Yeah, you found one. Now, did you find the right one? In that regards as well.
Chef Bly, let's talk a little bit about food. One of the things that people are dealing with on the long list of new worries that we all have is food insecurity. There are record numbers of people in lines at food banks, people who have never had to take advantage of that opportunity before. And Marty, we can talk too about, you know, shame that's associated with that, or worry. But for Chef Bly specifically, how can people make the most of the least? You know, you're used to working with, you know, you got a really great looking list of people you've worked with, Maxine Waters, you know, some of Hollywood's top names and celebrities. And when you're working with them, I assume you have the world at your fingertips, no budget, make it pretty and delicious. But a lot of people are going to be forced to kind of try to make their table feel like a regular Christmas on a extremely different budget.
Yes, I agree. And I have noticed that within the last couple of months, a lot of people that have had events planned, they have called me back to say, hey, I'm gonna have to scale it down some, you know, from going from 150 people to 75. Then that same person might call back and say, well, you know, instead of 75, we're just going to take it down to 25. And so I understand, you know, the safety of it. And sometimes it can be a little hard for me being a business owner and catering and different things like that. But I understand, you know, how it is to go and you're not able to find what you're really looking for in the grocery store and different things like that. So a lot of people, they are rearranging their holiday celebrations and meals and different things to where it's not a real big family gathering now. It's more like 10, 15 people. And really they're saying out here in California, that's too many. So it's a lot of people that are altering their event.
If you were working with a private client, private family kind of client, we have $50. expendable. You know, here's the extra cash. What do I blow the $50 on? Is it a turkey or a ham? Is it a good pot of beans and all of the stuff that goes in it? What's going to get you the most for the money?
Listen, something that'll stretch. So
Right.
if it takes making a pot of beans and some spaghetti and $50 to make it happen because you can at least eat off in that for a couple of days. So, I mean, spaghetti for 1 or 2 days, and then the beans for the next couple of days, whatever $50, do for you.
Yeah, blow up the $50.
Yeah.
Make it worth it. Right.
You might have to change.
Marty, talk a little bit about, the anxiety that goes along with food insecurity. This is the first time, 3 out of 4 people are kind of even considering that I may not have enough food for next week.
Right.
I may not have enough food for next month.
And I agree with what Chef Bly has said. We have to, I always share with my patient, listen, we got to get creative. This is not the first time that we as a people have had to be creative before and come out. I come from very humble beginnings. My grandmother was a cook. My aunts were housemaids and cleaners and all that. So I go back to, what were those comfort foods? We didn't have a whole lot. My grandmother raised 12 kids on a one income. My other grandmother raised 7 kids, and she was a single mother on one. So we said, what did we used to grow up on, and what did you all grow up on? It's a great way of now having family discussions, remembering the good times, remembering how you got through the past times, and just really, it's now creating dialogue. Now you get to create new traditions and then challenge everyone. What can you do? What can we do together? Even like you're doing this call. I'm in California, you're in Chicago. Hey, let's do a Zoom call together. Let's challenge each other. So now we can create new traditions and focus on the good and not necessarily the bad in that. And then I encourage people also, try your local churches, try, some of these food pantries. There are some that really do give out some really great food in that. And if I could do a little side note, I used to be executive director at a charter school, and these were for underprivileged kids. So twice a month, we would send 3 of them out. We would research, that'd be part of the lesson. Let's research some of these pantries. We teach them how to call the pantry. We teach them, do you have fresh fruits and vegetables in that? And then we would bring all the food back and then do meal planning and cook right there on campus. So sometimes we have to do simple things like that, Tyra, to get us back. Now we're teaching our children as well.
And what a great exercise. You're teaching them agency.
Yes.
You're teaching them budgeting.
Yes.
Yeah, those are all great. I have to say, I feel some kind of way that I'm the only person in the middle of the winter storm and nobody else is. That's fine.
So it's a brisk 67 degrees today. 67 is. I had to put on my sweater.
Yeah. We have a lot of tears.
Yes.
So when we talk about comforting things like food, Marty, how do you know that you are, or how can you be aware that you may be using food as a comfort beyond what's comfortable? Because jogging pants that you aren't jogging in become problematic at some point.
Right. This COVID crisis has really caused, we all have the COVID-10, remember when in college we had the COVID-15, the freshman year. Now we have the COVID-10, the COVID-15, the COVID-20. We have to be careful that if we're using food as a substitute for dealing with our emotions, if we're using food as a substitute for dealing with our anxiety, our depression, that's when it becomes a problem. And I need to now re-examine my relationship with food. And I say it this way, during this time, we have to fight like crazy to make sure we're eating the right foods. You don't have to go to Popeyes. You ain't got to get all that, let's get real quick. Let's go back to the fresh green beans. Let's go back to the fresh fruits, because that does change your mental health as well. And then let's get in the exercising so we can get back, so we can throw away the stretch jeans and all of that stuff by the time, let's shoot for summer of 2021.
Right. Everybody's butterfly moment. Everybody.
Yes. Let's go into our cocoons. Let's work out. let's get fresh air. Fresh air is so vital for changing your mental health, letting the sunlight in. I know sometimes I grew up in Ohio, so I get it. You get gray skies, but letting fresh air, pulling back the curtain so you can let natural sunlight come in, even if it's a gray sunlight, is better than no sunlight.
Right.
And doing something physical, getting yourself active is so vital so you don't fall into depression, so you don't fall into being anxious about everything. And then I even say this: okay, you can't have the biggest food budget, but don't worry about the gifts. We stress too much over things that we cannot control. Focus on the things that you can control and let the rest of it just have its way.
Yeah. Well, what I'm confident that the three of us know is that even if there's a cloud out, the sun is still there. The sun doesn't leave.
Right.
Because the cloud is in front of it. So
right.
Go out and still take advantage of
most definitely
vitamin D. Chef Bly, what I have found is that when we're talking about tight budgets, and as Marty was talking about, using fresh foods and fruits and vegetables, it's really actually cheaper to buy fresh vegetables than it is to run through the drive-through. What's your advice on that with budgeting?
As far as budgeting, I think that is correct. Anytime you can go and get any type of fresh food, that's much better because you're at home, you're cooking yourself. You don't have all these different preservatives and additives and things like that. So if you can cook it yourself and use olive oil instead of vegetable oil and different things like that, that's much better. And like you said, fresh green beans, which we'll be making today. That's one of the things that a lot of people are. A lot of my clients, they like when I do like my sautéed green beans, and then if you do like squash and fresh vegetables, that's actually a big help. Other than going to get a Big Mac or, as you said, Popeyes, where all this stuff is going to clog your arteries anyway.
Yeah. So let's see. So green beans are what we're looking at today?
Yes, it is.
All right. What's your green bean recipe? What's the secret?
Okay, I will give my secret. Normally I don't, but I am going to do sautéed green beans, and that's fresh green beans. And I use a little secret, which is the onion soup mix as the seasoning, along with butter and olive oil. And
is it sautéed, baked? Talk me through the recipe.
So what I do first, I boil them and give them a little tenderness, and I take them out, I blanch them, put them in the pan, add all the seasoning and everything, and put them in the oven and let them bake for about 20 to 30 minutes. All
right, so for people at home, I'm not naming any names. There's no judgment here. Talk about what tenderness is, because a lot of people want to kill the green bean. They want the green bean collapsed somewhere.
And if you cook it to where it's just dead, then you may as not eat it because you cook the life out of it. So what you're doing when you boil the green beans, you're going to boil them for about maybe 5 minutes. And some people may say, "Oh, they're not done." No, they're not done. But you don't want to all the preservatives and everything. They're in the green beans. Just cooking them with that 5 minutes. That's what you're getting out of the green beans. Once you take them out, you blanch them. That stops the cooking process, and you put them in the pan. You add all the seasoning, and put them in the oven for another, like 10 minutes. That's still within that cooking time where you're not killing them, and you have a great meal after that. I mean, all the seasonings have set in. You have the olive oil and the different seasonings. So, it's an easy dish and healthy.
And just go through what blanching is.
So blanching, again, it just stops the cooking process. So you boil them, and once you take them out after like 5 minutes, you're supposed to put them in ice cold water. A lot of us chefs, we kind of cheat. We just run the cold water over them.
Under the sink, right now.
Ice cold water for like 5 minutes. You take them out and put them in another pan. So it's really just shocking them and adding cold water to them to stop the cooking process.
And like you said, that maintains the texture, the snap, the vitamins.
Yes.
What is that? So that's maybe the favorite dish to prepare. What's your favorite holiday dish to eat, Chef Black?
All the bad stuff.
Right.
I love the ham. I love the turkey, and I love turkey wings. I like the dressing, the candy yams, all that good stuff. But I try to change it from having the same thing from Thanksgiving and having the same thing for Christmas.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
have traditional for Thanksgiving. It has to be something different for Christmas because it just, I mean, within a couple of weeks you get burnt out on the same food.
Now, what is your cooking style? Because are you doing like grandma's house dressing, or is this fancy cha-cha LA dressing?
No, this is grandma's dressing.
Okay.
Even though I'm not, I like grandma's dressing with all the nooks and crannies in it, but not the LA dressing. No.
Yeah.
Chef
Like
Black.
I said, I've been to LA, and you go to the soul food restaurant, and they bring you like a little pink china bowl with 2 breadcrumbs and a slice of onion, and here is your dressing. Is it?
Yeah.
Is that the dressing?
That's a sample from Costco.
Right.
Anything I can eat with a toothpick is not the meal.
I hear
Right.
you.
Marty, what's your favorite holiday dish?
I'm like Chef Black, but I love all the appetizers, that you have with that, the deviled eggs and whether it's chip and dip or something like that. I like of course, the fattening stuff as well. And even with that, we do in moderation. So, I save up all, if you will. We don't always eat healthy here in California. Someone says, do y'all always eat salad? No, we don't always eat salad.
Best
We do
tacos
like-
I've ever had, and I live in Chicago.
Okay. Yes. Yes. But I love all those things. We do a variety of things. I think especially for New Year's. Now I'm looking for New Year's because I'm ready for my gumbo.
Gumbo.
And the black eyed peas and greens. Come on.
You know what? I'm glad you brought up New Year's. Let's talk a little bit about that. What do resolutions look like coming out of 2020?
Oh.
That's a good one. I think, I always say it this way. 2020 was a very eye-opening year. And if I could use the analogy, I used to wear glasses. Thank God I had my surgery in 2020. So now LASIK surgery is amazing.
Yes.
And in that, we say, do you want A or B? 1 or 2? Well, we got to see clearly a lot of stuff in 2020 that we weren't prepared for. And it gave us an opportunity to deal with ourselves. My referral basis for couples and, believe it or not, Black men has, over the past 5 months, has been more than I've had from them in the quote unquote 4 to 5 years I've been in business, because we've had to take a look at ourselves and decide, am I going to continue in this same way? So for me, 2021 is a year of now manifesting everything that I couldn't do in 2020, the things that I saw that I want to change in myself. And I say, hold no bars, we just really move forward in 2021. We got a brand new political year that's happening. We have the first Black woman as being the vice president. And so I think that's a very eye-opening year. Things are changing, and we have the power to change, but we have to do the work in order to make sure the changes are real.
A question to both of you as, entrepreneurs, as it were, and Marty, you as a counselor. I've seen some of the memes floating around that say, if you didn't make the most of 2020 and the time you had off, that's on you, or you didn't hustle hard during 2020, that's on you. And this is with 0 mental health certification. So you put that out there. But
it's all good.
I feel like if you see January 1st, you win.
I agree.
The prize is yours.
Yes. That's so true, because many of us had to get through so much in 2020 that just waking up is a blessing. A good friend of mine, she says it this way: waking up is automatic, Showing up is intentional. So in 2021, I intentionally choose to show up. And because I have made it crossed over when so many have died, so many have caught COVID. I caught COVID. It was horrible. Glad that I'm on the other side. But I say it this way: COVID was one of the best things that happened to me. I am now more vigilant about my health than I have ever been in my 54 years of living. I'm about now being very, very healthy. I feel better now post COVID than I did pre COVID. But I would not let myself accept the fact that I was going to let that be the end of me. It was a fight, and I'm so glad that I fought through it. So if you, like you said, if you made it to 2021, January 1, you have fought through a hell of a year. So you deserve to celebrate you at that point.
Chef Bly, what do you think about that? I'm sure that business-wise, it's been a tough year.
It actually has. I will say it has and it has not. I'm really grateful because of the fact that right in March, everything was fine. Went on vacation, came back from vacation. 2 days after we came back, the world shut down. Shut down. So I still work a 9 to 5, but 2 days after we got back, everything shut down. They said, okay, we don't know what's going on. We'll give you an update in 2 weeks. And they kept giving us these updates from my 9 to 5 jobs. I'm like, okay, so, what's going to happen? Are we going to lose our jobs? What happens from here? And so by me being a caterer, I was sitting at home and I was like, okay, I'm about to get anxiety. I'm sitting here, can't go outside, scared, don't know who you can talk to, don't know who you can touch or whatever because of this pandemic. And really not having the clear understanding of what it is. I was sitting here and I said, okay, what am I going to do? I said, I'm bored sitting in the house, and something just came to me. And well, I'm not going to say something. I prayed about it, and God said, okay, you're a cook. I said, you're right. So I was sitting there, I'm pondering. I said, okay, what am I going to do? And it just came to me that people can't go outside. You cook. So how about doing these quarantine meals? So I came up with these meals every week and thinking, I said, okay, I'm gonna do about 25 meals. And I put that thing together, put them flyers out, and I had well over 50 orders every time we delivered. And so that's why I said this pandemic, it really haven't been too bad, but it was bad. It is bad. But as far as business wise, it didn't actually break me. And I can honestly say that I made more money during the pandemic than I was even before, even on my regular 9 to 5. So I can't say that it was all bad, but just not being able to see your loved ones and knowing that some of your friends and loved ones have passed away and all this kind of stuff, that's what makes it hard. And like Reggie just said, God will always provide. He will. He has. And he's still providing. And I'm grateful for it.
Yep, you had that muscle the whole time. You just needed to exercise it, maybe.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. Marty, what are 3 things that people can kind of be vigilant of at this time? Chef Bly was talking about, kind of the anxiousness of being out. What can I touch? Where can I go? I don't want to bring anything home. How do you keep that legitimate concern from becoming kind of elevated, OCD or something that creates distance between you and people?
Yes. One of the first things, I don't like the term that they're using in this social distancing. I like to rebrand that we need to physically distance while still remaining socially connected. Because the whole thing of social distancing creates this whole facade, especially for if you're an introvert. Well, I got a social distance, so I got to stay intact. And even introverts are struggling with this now because it's gone past even their comfort zone. Extroverts it's driving us crazy because we like to touch and talk and all that. One of the things I say that can help alleviate a lot of anxiety is continuing to have the discussion. How are you feeling? What are you anxious about? That's number one. Number two, I think you need to develop a plan so that you can start this transition. So when you go out, what's your plan with going out? How do you plan to maneuver while keeping your sanity in that? And then giving yourself permission, number three, to make adjustments and know when you're not okay. It's so important that we know when we're not okay. Find the things that work best for you. If Instacart and having your groceries delivers, if that works best for you, that's good. That is getting you, allowing you to deal with your own anxieties, to deal with your own fears in your own way. But don't socially distance yourself. Still remain socially active while remaining physically distant.
But how do we know when we're not okay, like officially
Mm.
not okay, and we need to call to talk to
Yes.
someone like you? Because a lot of us think, oh, I'm having a bad day,
Hmm.
or I'll really lean into God on this, and
Right.
tomorrow
Yeah.
it'll all be better.
Yeah.
How do you know this is a problem? I'm having a problem. I'm struggling.
Right, right. A couple things. One, I share with the saints. Listen, you can go to God, you can see your pastor, you can pray about it, and it's still okay to have a therapist. You will not lose your salvation. Come
Right.
on, because all therapy is wise counseling.
Hmm.
Remember when Moses' father told him, "Listen, you need other people. You need wise counsel, so that other people can handle these things." That's all we are. We're just wise counsel in that. The definition of anxiety is when you overthink something. I'm giving you a watered down version of it, to the point that it impairs you from doing your daily and normal activities. So if your anxiety or worry keeps you from doing your daily activities, and this is going on for more than 2 weeks, that's a sign that there's some, we would call this initially adjustment disorder.
Hmm.
There's something that is adjusting in your life that you have not adjusted to. So it's worth a conversation. And on the flip side of that, I say depression and anxiety hang out like grace and mercy, but they ain't that kind. Depression then is when it also keeps you from doing something because you're so worried about the things of your past, the things that have already happened, till it keeps you in bed, till it keeps you eating too much, till it keeps you from not eating at all, till you just overthink, and it's just kind of negative and intrusive thoughts continue to bombard your mind. You're on this merry-go-round and you can't seem to get off. That's when you say, you know what, I have a problem. I'm not okay. And I need to talk to someone about it. And it's okay not to be okay.
Right.
And people are giving, Taraji is giving a lot of free therapy. Shout out to Taraji and her openness. She's doing a lot. But even then, I had some people go to her. They're like, yeah, we're going to help you to manage, what the immediate, but you need to then therefore get connected to a local therapist
Right.
that you can be on the same time zone, that they can help you out with that. So it's okay to say, and people are accepting insurance. We're all doing this via Zoom right now, so you don't have to worry about face to face. And people are also giving major discounted rates. I don't ever turn anyone away that says I cannot pay. I'm like, well, okay, what can you pay? Now ask them. Now, give me your weed money and your alcohol money. That'll pay for you.
Pour some oil in this pot now. Yeah.
Right, right. However, I'll give you my discounted rate. Now, you just take away your vices. We'll be all right.
Right. You also work with a lot of couples. The
Yes.
running joke is a lot of people have had to spend more time with their mates than they have ever had.
Ever have. Yes.
What is the trend on that? What are you seeing? Is that working out? Is that creating some new conversations?
It's creating amazing conversations with that. And most of I would say a good 95% of the couples that I've been seeing, the relationship and the marriages have been staying intact.
Okay.
But we have to learn how to have, again, these conversations. We're so used to moving and going, we now have to share a same space. We're both working from home now. At least I could tell that joker, she was leaving the house at a certain time. He was leaving the house at a certain time. You had a few moments to yourself. Now you're there all the time. And it's really about creating boundaries. This is our work time. This is our family time. And you still got a date. They're like, well, I see her. No. That's just casual. We got to plan a date, whether it's go sit on the balcony, whether it's have a date in the bedroom, and introduce some new ways of I'm trying to be spiritually corrected this
Sure,
time.
sure, sure.
Some new ways of having foreplay and just having
Engaging.
yes, engaging with that. Because hey, we're grown, so you got to you got to keep that going. You got to put another log on the fire, and even at understanding our love languages. When your husband might be trying to say I love you, but it's not the way that you want it. Well, what's his pattern, or vice versa? Simple things. I had a couple, and she was saying, "Oh, you look nice with your shirt off," and she goes, "I was trying to say something." She says, "Yeah, but you didn't say I look sexy." Well, didn't she say you look nice with your shirt off? Come on, dog. You got to get with it.
Yeah.
Read in between the lines. Or you didn't say I look, you're wearing that red lipstick. Well, you didn't say I was sexy. He's so just helping people not to take everything so personal, and to relax and to support each other by making love deposits in their love tank.
That's good. That's good. What about folks that are trying to date? Right now, the numbers on the dating sites are bananas.
Yes.
I tried that. I have never seen more men with sleeveless shirts on for no good reason in my entire life.
Yes.
I don't know if that comes in the manual. Hey, you know what? Maybe go sleeveless. I don't know.
I didn't get that one in the manual, but
Look, it's rampant because you may not be seeing the pictures that
I don't know.
For some reason, they think we want to see like arm up, soul train, and no sleeve.
Right.
Speak for the delegation.
Well, as a single Black man and a father, don't judge me. I have a 4-year-old. That's a whole nother story. But she's my adoptive daughter. She's my adoptive daughter, so that's okay. I tell people during this time, you got to first know yourself. Before you start going out there, because no one told me that Facebook and Instagram are the new pickup places.
And LinkedIn, apparently.
Oh, apparently LinkedIn too. I get so many things. I'm like, delete. And the more that you're on these platforms, the more hits you get. I'm like, no. But you know what? Get to know yourself. Because I would say this way, when you're hurting, you have to be careful that you don't allow other people. I use the Holt theory. If you're too hungry, that's where Chef Bly is in here. If you're too angry, if you're too lonely, and if you're too tired, that's not the time to go into relationships. You got to make sure that you have met all of those needs within yourself first. Before going all out, because as soon as this pandemic is over and we really get to see, we be like, I didn't like them anyway. Right. Are we having a pandemic? Boo. And that's it. And so we got to be careful with that. But the first thing I tell people, know yourself first. What are your boundaries? Know your self-worth. What are you worth? And if we weren't in a pandemic, would you even consider this relationship? Because we're going to get through this pandemic. Now, once we get through it, are you going to have another problem to deal with?
Mm-hmm. We're gonna break here and bring someone else into the conversation.
Yes.
Lamar Brown with Shy Gives Back, who has been an incredible part of giving back to Chicago. Making sure that the folks here have what they need, and the organization and the groups that they work with do it truly with joy. There's joy in the giving that they do, and I think that's why it's received so well. Lamar, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks so much for having me. How are you guys today?
Doing well.
Good. So I'll be brief, and I'm just very grateful to join you guys today. Hearing some of the conversation, I think it's poignant. I think it's relevant. And to your point, we'll make it on the other side of this pandemic. And while we're in this pandemic, I think it's important that we continue to sow into one another and take care of each other. Mental health is a very real thing. And just being there for somebody, even if it's a listening ear, is incredibly important, which is a great transition to some of the work that we've been doing. I'm a strategist for Lyft, covering about 12 states in the Midwest. With Chicago being the primary market, and I'm focused on strategic engagements and community giving. We've given about $100,000, more than $100,000, to various community organizations in Chicago through our Lift Up community grants. since the company has, and particularly since I've been in the company, we really focused our efforts on giving to Black communities, those who have been traditionally underserved. As we know in Chicago, there are structural issues that we face, which have pretty much decimated and really impacted our communities on the South and West Side, particularly those in Austin and Inglewood and what have you. And so, yeah, we are doing the turkey giveaway this Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. At Urbane Blades, which is a Black-owned, veteran-owned barbershop in the old Cabrini Green area. We are encouraging individuals everywhere to visit the Eventbrite link, Lift Happy Holiday Turkey Drive.eventbrite.com to sign up. There will be giving contactless giveaway to turkeys. We're going to have, we've advised it to media, so we're expecting some media coverage there as well. We're also going to be offering reduced haircuts to families who may need to get fresh right before the Christmas holiday. Our little boys and girls, they also need to be taken care of. And so Urbane Blades is offering those reduced services for families who RSVP to receive a turkey on that day. Also, today, you may have heard Shy Gives Back is doing their Chicagoland toy drive. And as a partner with Shy Gives Back, Urbane Blades is collecting toys as well on tomorrow during the turkey giveaway. And so we're encouraging volunteers and others to bring toys to help folks during the holiday season. We know that everyone's been impacted in so many ways by COVID-19. And so while this is a small rock in a large pond, we really want to do as much as we can to help impact our communities in a positive way. And so, again, Turkey Drive is tomorrow, Sunday, December 20th, from 10 a.m. To 2 p.m. And so we'll be there and we'll be giving out turkeys to the community. And so sign up via Eventbrite, Lift Happy Holiday Turkey Drive.eventbrite.com, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys.
Lamar, thank you for that information. I know Next Showcase has partnered with Lyft many times, and so we all appreciate the work that you do to make things easier for folks to take advantage of those kinds of opportunities. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of rideshare programs during this time with food insecurity? We've been talking about that the whole hour. A lot of the neighborhoods that you're talking about are in food deserts, and so where someone might be able to, in a different community, spill out the door and walk a couple of blocks to find some fresh food. Right now, they're unable to. What steps are you guys taking to keep folks safe, and why is it so important that you're available?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. I think, we understand that there are food deserts in many places around Chicago, particularly on the South and West sides in those communities I mentioned earlier. But these are also transportation deserts. And right now, while individuals are trying to find their way through a global pandemic, resources are not there as well. And so as part of our larger Lift Up initiative, particularly during COVID-19, the company has been doing Lift COVID relief rides. And so for individuals who need to get to medical appointments, who need to get to grocery stores, who need to get to work, quite frankly, we've provided free and reduced rides to so many different organizations throughout the pandemic and since this last winter. And one of the components of our larger Lift Up initiative is our grocery and food access programs. And so we've partnered with different food pantries to help individuals get to and from those essential goods and those healthy foods that you mentioned. We've also been able to provide free codes to individuals like senior citizens, right, who may not, everyone may not afford public transportation, particularly now. It may be a cost that they just can't bear. And so, to your point, they may have to walk to the grocery store. But then that entreats a safety issue, right? And so folks are not just concerned about the virus, right? They're concerned about their personal well-being and safety. And so not only does Lyft provide the ability to get individuals to and from to get those goods, but it's also a safe mode of transportation for them. And so those are just a few of our programs. We've also provided jobs access rides to individuals in the pandemic as well, folks who need to get to job training programs. And or need to get to an interview. We've also recognized that within the first 4 weeks of employment, individuals are more vulnerable, right? They may not be able to afford transportation while they're waiting on their first paycheck, right? And so we've stepped in and partnered with organizations like the Chicago Urban League, the Center for New Horizons, and North Lawndale Employment Network to try to touch every part of the city to provide rides to individuals while they're waiting on their first paycheck. And this is particularly impacting the reentry community or the justice involved community. And so there's impact everywhere around the city. And that's one thing that I've been really focused on, and the company's been focused on is helping those communities who really, really need our help the most. And transportation has been a barrier. And so we want to remove that barrier.
Well, we all appreciate what you do. Everybody knows the feeling of needing a ride. So
absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for that. And tell folks again where they can find the turkey giveaway information.
Absolutely. So everyone, please, you can visit Lift Happy Holiday Turkey Drive.eventbrite.com to sign up and reserve a turkey. Limited quantities are available, and they are on a first come, first served basis. So hurry up, go ahead and register, and we're looking forward to seeing you on tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, guys.
Should be well.
Bye.
All right, Chef Bly, before we brought Lamar into the conversation, we were talking about dating and relationships and trying to keep it fresh. What's an easy go-to, because people cannot really go to, and certainly where you all are, can't go to the restaurant for a date meal, a date night. What can someone make at home that looks good, gives that kind of elegance, elevated feel, but is reasonable, manageable for the home chef? Uh-oh.
I think we lost it. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
I'm sorry. Was that a question for me or for Marty? I'm sorry.
That's for you. You're the only one in here who can do it, so you.
Okay. I can kind of give you insight of what we're doing today. That's something that you can have on date night, you can have for holidays, and it's simple. It's a meal, and so what I'll be doing today is I'll be doing and with sauteed green beans and macaroni and cheese and au gratin potato with scallop potatoes. So that'll be a simple meal for either holidays, give or take.
I think simple is a sliding scale for a lot of people, but but they could try it. Let me ask you one more thing. So New Year's is coming up. People will be, again, having to adjust the way they entertain at home, or, just the small group of friends that have hopefully been quarantining and have tested negative, maybe getting together. But what's an easy dessert, that again looks elegant, looks festive, but is easy? There's something floating around on social media that I saw the other day, and people were talking about making beignets at home. The conversation was, and I saw something that I had never seen before. It might work, but they were saying you can take refrigerated biscuits and fry them and do that's what they got made. So I wanted to present it to you.
That before. And
do powdered sugar on it and kind of like, look, it's a beignet. I don't know. You can buy a box of the stuff from Cafe Du Monde. You don't have to do that.
Right.
They sell it at the grocery store. But what's a quick kind of elevated ghetto hookup, maybe we'll call it. What can you do in the kitchen that will present well and is kind of a backdoor way to get something done?
Now, would this just be for like New Year's, or this will be just for couples?
Well, New Year's is
was it for couples mainly?
For couples, but people will be trying to have a decent looking dessert table or appetizer table for New Year's.
Yeah. So an easy dessert would probably be like chocolate covered strawberries.
Mm.
If you want to go a little more elegant than that, like a easy banana pudding or something like that. I'm thinking.
I know, and I may have stressed you out with the biscuit and the powdered sugar. I apologize. I can see you trying to recover from the trauma. Marty, do you have any advice on trauma recovery with food?
Food is such a important piece of our culture. And food even brings healing to families. I know when I used to do some family interventions and family meetings, I would bring food to the meetings because it's hard to yell at someone when you got a slice of pizza,
right?
Definitely we got a slice of Chef Bly's cake and that he makes. So food is a natural healer, especially in our communities of colors, in our Black communities, in our Latino communities, and whether it's getting some sort of instant cake or making some cookies, making holiday cookies, wonderful time. I think my mother and my godmother and my daughter and children, they're coming over today so they can make cookies. Now, mind you, I'm testing them at the door, make sure we ain't got no temperatures or anything, and
right.
we all wear our masks.
With a little juice, maybe on the way in.
Yeah. And look, everybody got their mask on because we're not breathing on anything. But that's, again, another wonderful way. And I go back to this, just creating new family traditions. That's how we can heal in the midst of this major pandemic that we're doing, so that we're still, again, I say it and I stress it, remaining socially connected, because that's what's going to heal the trauma. That's what's going to help us get through this trauma, because we're going to have a lot of PTSD after this COVID that we've been gone through. And then we're even in the midst of seasonal affect disorder for a lot of people. And that's just, this time of year can bring, because it's not as sunny and all that, can bring about some gloom, some low-grade depression and all that. And we cannot ignore that as well.
Well, all great advice from you both. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. Chef Bly, where can folks who are seeing this in Los Angeles find you?
You can find me on Instagram at chef_Bly, BLY, or my email is specialtyevent.catering@.
Okay. And Marty, where can folks find you who might need, to talk?
Yes, definitely. On a couple things, I have a page on Facebook called Mental Health Matters with Marty. That's right. And then I also have a podcast. And it's also Mental Health Matters with Marty. So on the Facebook, so if you type Mental Health Matters with Marty, you'll for the most part catch me on most of my social media platforms, or mentalhealthmarty.com.
Sounds great. Thank you, gentlemen. To you both. Have a safe and merry holiday.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to bring in the rest of the next showcase team now. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up? Yes. I was sitting here reading and watching the comments and things like that, and it just amazes me to how sometimes the shade can kind of like hit the people real hard.
Marty, you may want to sit down with Mark. He's sensitive.
I'm not sensitive. I just know when they're talking about me. So when they said no, we're not going to mention any names, I just know exactly what who they're talking about. It's okay.
Wasn't talking about your lazy beans.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
But that's love. That's love.
No, Marty. No, Marty.
That's not love.
No, Marty, it's not love. I just think we had a cooking show. I guess Javon's going to show me how to cook what he's going to cook. Like, I'm not going to cook with you though. But again, we had a cooking show last time, and the chef actually showed me how to prepare the food. And so I was actually preparing the food. And so, of course, you know, my sister that I love so much, Tyra, she said what we're going to do today is sow into somebody's life. So that was another.
Just throwing some hints of love. Of love.
And she's an educated Black woman, which we know we love. So she knows how to put those words together. So you know, it doesn't make you feel. It doesn't sound like you were supposed to make you feel small, but it's going to make you feel like that. You know?
I like that sliding scale comment.
The sliding scale.
The sliding scale, right.
Hey, I'm sorry, because I'm sorry. Was I talking to you? Oh, thanks.
Yes.
While we still got Chef Bly, let's look at what, for whomever, let's look at what a finely prepared dish looks like. Let's see the plate. We never got to see these beans of Great Report.
Well, my impression was that I was going to be cooking from like start to finish and then so I was, prepared to make everything.
Oh, okay. Well, we got the recipe.
Okay.
So folks can do it at home.
Gotcha.
And they can tag you in the picture, in the struggle plate picture, and hopefully.
You know what? These little jabs are going to have to stop. Yeah. Okay, all right.
It's not about you. We've all seen them where you wonder what made somebody decide to capture this moment.
Oh my goodness.
So it's not going to be the light-skinned chicken today. So let's go on with
Caucasian. We have to be politically correct.
Light-skinned chicken.
Caucasian chicken.
Cajun chicken.
I'm comfortable with light skin.
Chef Bly, can we get back to you, please? Thank you, because I feel a little something right now.
Chef Bly, what color should fried chicken be?
I'm sorry. Careful how you answer that.
Okay, what color should it be?
It's going to not.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear us?
He's thinking about it. He's doing the Reggie.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Like a golden brown.
Fried chicken, the color of it.
It should be a golden brown.
Okay.
That's
a golden brown, not light skin.
Yeah. And should it have some kind of coating or fry on it if you're frying it?
What are we doing here?
Your chicken had coating. It was well coated.
It was well coated. So understand this. What I did was
coating didn't have any seasoning.
What are we doing here? I don't understand. What are we doing?
Questions to the chef.
You dragged yourself into this.
No, I didn't. You dragged. No,
Marty.
Well, Mark was being conscious.
You need to release things.
Well, he's being conscious of people's diets and making sure for those who had high blood pressure that we weren't doing overly seasoned, because we can do Lawry's on everything. So he's letting you season to your own taste. I'm trying to help you out, Mark.
I'm not going to pay you for that slag.
I was trying to help you out, my brother.
You're not getting my drink money or any other type of money. All right, you hear me? I understand that didn't come from a nice place either. But you know what? I'm gonna keep going. That's what we're gonna do. So
right.
All right. Well, good talk, everybody.
Thank you.
Anybody? What are the plans for the holidays? How are we all gonna do it? I'm gonna be at home doing the solo dolo. So what's everybody else doing?
Again, my family, we will be doing Zoom. So we'll be on Zoom. We'll be cooking on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas we'll be eating together.
That's wonderful.
Yes, well, we'll be right here. My mother recently moved in with me. She's elderly, so I have my elderly mother, my daughter, and my son lives with me. So we will be right here at home in our plaid pajamas, chilling all day long. I have to get out the bed because of a 4-year-old. I'll probably sleep all day, but I'm gonna be social.
Right.
But yeah,
that sounds like a great Christmas.
oh yes, it's the best.
Chef?
Actually, on Christmas Day, I do have a couple of drop-offs that I'm doing. So I will be preparing those and dropping them off, coming back home and relaxing.
Daria?
Well, my other business, so I have some orders to be making. So once I finish those orders and delivering those, I'll be resting.
See, for you guys on the end, though, I guess that is kind of different because you have to, and in news, typically if we weren't in a pandemic, I'd be at the station too, but holidays, you do have to kind of balance what you do professionally and how you celebrate personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Mark?
Oh, I didn't think you were going to ask me.
I care about how you're spending your holiday.
I'm just, yesterday I was in a hostile environment. Today I feel like another one today as well. I feel like Reggie and Lady Didi pulled Tara into a hostile environment that I dealt with yesterday. I believe that my staff should at least be on my team, should at least be on my side, but it doesn't look like they're going to be on my side in this open environment on Facebook and every place else that we're in.
So we started Marty here as a mediator. I was not talking about you or your chicken.
See,
mulatto chicken. I wasn't talking about it.
What's the name? What's the name of my chicken again? See what I'm saying?
Mulatto chicken.
Talking about it.
I can tell you what I'm not going to be doing on Christmas, and I will not be in the kitchen. How about that?
Yeah, about that? You should be relaxing.
That's a good thing. That is a good thing.
And then Reggie, I'll let you know when to talk.
Brother will be grateful for that.
Yeah, listen, my brother after the last episode, my brother's like, the next time you step in this kitchen to cook anything, you are on this house. So okay, I get that undertone, no problem. But I again, it's just going to be my brother and I, and we're going to do the Zoom thing with the family,
right?
To make sure that we check in on everybody. Everybody know that we came up with this idea to have a virtual Secret Santa, so we're going to virtually send gifts and things like that. As a race, that's because I tell people Cash App and gift cards work all the time, so virtually just send me my money over here. We good, huh? That's yeah.
Right.
They said, "What can you buy me?" Listen, I can tell you exactly what you can buy me. $.
Right. My favorite color is green. It's one size fits all.
Right, one size fits all. My favorite color is green, and that's you don't have to worry about me returning it. You don't have to worry about me returning it. I'm not going to take it back. It will not be returned. No refund. You don't have to worry about asking for a refund or nothing. You're good.
Right.
You're good. So yeah, but that's it. Just hanging out with family and stuff like that. But Chef, I'm just curious to see your finished product. Do you have the meals that you finished already, or you just gonna sit there and look at me like that?
Well,
let's secret about Javon and I. Actually, Javon is also a former choir member of mine before he moved away. So he used to sing with the Voices, and we actually used to be roommates. And then even when we were roommates, the first got an apartment, he was the only one in the kitchen as well, and not me. So that's another thing.
Oh, see, you left that part out before. We could have.
Yeah, and I should have waited.
Completely different conversation.
Right. Which way? I don't even know why I just opened it up. I said my
okay, this goes over. He knows about your light-skinned chicken.
The disrespect has to stop.
Are you froze?
No, I just freeze. I said the disrespect had to stop about my light-skinned chicken. We're done, okay?
We're
We're
done.
trying to get some help, Mark. Look, we have a therapist here to help you and a chef.
This is an intervention now.
Right. Intervention. You didn't
I don't know. I don't know what he did to y'all. Mark has left the call.
He does that all the time. He get in his feelings.
So, Mark, how are you really feeling?
I don't feel like I'm being therapy. I don't feel like this therapy is happening. I don't feel any help from this. I'm gonna need therapy for the therapist. I'm gonna need therapy for the therapy. I don't feel no help for that now. I feel no help. You hear me? My God. And this whole show is about helping people manage this trying situation. Y'all just put me farther back. I just feel like I don't know.
But they knew you could handle it. That's why.
Yes.
Look, he froze again. Look.
No,
Love it,
guys. So again, this has really been a great show. Tara, you always do it the way you do it. We appreciate you so much. I asked Javon 3 times to do something, he still ain't did it. But let me just say this again. Thank you so very much, Javon, Chef Bly, whatever you want, William. I know all 3 of your names, and Marty. Thank you so very much for
my pleasure.
Imparting into us a lot of situations, a lot of things that we can do, and how to prepare meals and what to prepare for, and how to deal with this situation. Because as a team, we were talking about the seriousness of this matter, where we are in the day and time. Because again, this is something, and I'm so glad Tara and Marty said the same thing. When Tara brought up the situation with people being on social media saying if you had not done this with your life or not doing anything, like you're pretty much lazy. And my team will tell you, I've always been against that statement on social media, always, because again, this pandemic literally affects people differently. Differently, everybody, So everybody knows that I'm a gospel artist and I record, I write. I didn't have the thrive or the mentality to write a book or to write a song.
Right.
My at the point of time when the pandemic really came out, my brother caught it. And then he was one of those situations where it hit him hard. So I'm worried about if he's going to breathe, can he breathe? I'm worried about all of that. I wasn't thinking about writing a song. So the mere fact that, I tell people, respect people where they are. I'm not, again, nowhere am I a therapist or nothing like that, but I tell people all the time, respect people where they are in the space that they are in this type of pandemic, in this season of the pandemic, because nobody saw this coming. Nobody was prepared for this. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, we predict that, or we saw this coming last year. We didn't know that. And so therefore, you really have to respect people where they are and either walk with them or help them through the situation, but don't talk down to people. And so you and Tara to really, again, be on that same page, mental life, it just confirms what we always say, guys. Now in 2021, God give me a song or he gives me a case of beat, that's fine. But I'm just happy that it's December 19th and I'm still here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm asking and praying, God. My prayer to God when I go to bed at night is that I ask that God bless my family and God give me a certain amount more years to live. And I ask him for 40 more years to live, because by that time I'll be good. No, never mind. But anyway, but I ask him for that on purpose, because words are powerful.
Yes.
And I ask him that on purpose, and I ask him who to cover and who to touch. I ask on purpose because, again, we speak life and death through the power of our tongue. So words are powerful. So therefore, I continue to ask for that, because of the fact that not just me, but the people I'm connected to, that they'll be able to live a long and successful life from this point. So just to have this show and this conversation was definitely worth doing. From, again, talking about, as we talk about the pandemic and where people are as far as their financial status. I can take 9 times out of 10, somebody got 2 cans of green beans in their pantry. Whether it's what the case be. So now you just learn how to take them green beans and what the case be and make a meal. Because I know when growing up, my mom would take pork and beans and a hot dog. You would think that you had steak and potatoes.
Come on.
Pork and beans and hot dogs are pretty good, like when you really want it.
And we used to talk about that gum cheese, but that gum cheese will make a good old what?
Grilled cheese sandwich.
Grilled cheese.
Listen, okay? And so that's where people are right now, but they need to learn how to, with Chef Black, this is what you do, this is how you take it, and this is how you make little and turn it into much, and and just be able to thrive. So again, thank you both.
Thank you.
And so, Lady D, Reggie, y'all never are not like short on words. You want to say something else other than about me?
I just echo your sentiments and thanking Marty and thanking Chef Bly for joining us today. It was a lot of great information, and hopefully all of our listeners will be able to take it to heart and use the information that was given today to help make it through the next couple of weeks. And to, again, not beat yourself up about 2020.
Right.
Just being here, just being alive, being in good health, a good state of mind is a blessing. No matter what else has happened. And we are definitely praying for all of those that have lost loved ones this year, that have lost close acquaintances. That hurts. And there is a grieving process that you have to go through. And like you said, Martin, it's okay not to be okay.
Yes.
It's okay to cry those tears because that is loss.
Mm-hmm.
So be good. Be good. And we thank you guys for joining us today. And thank you for the information that was shared.
Awesome.
I just want to say, Marty did share a lot of good information, and I want to say I am one of the people that is struggling mentally through this time, but I keep myself busy so that I don't show it. So you did give a lot of good information, and something that that I've been sharing with people too. You know, a lot of Black people don't like to say that something's wrong.
Right.
Therapist. Well, right now I do have a therapist.
Awesome.
Because there is something wrong, but everybody else get on you.
Mm-hmm.
What you say?
I said there's something wrong mentally with you. You walked in that was sweetie.
Safe space, Mark.
But I don't have to look like what I'm going through.
That's right.
But I can be getting help and not look like what I'm going through.
Exactly.
So you did give a lot of good information. Chef Bly, thank you, even though you didn't show Mark how to cook chicken right. But I thank you for just for some support for him.
Chef Bly, I'm going to be stealing the secret for the green beans.
The green beans.
Just so you know.
So what I'll do, maybe I have to come back again, and while you guys are talking, I'll be like the DJ instead of you guys having music.
I love it.
Yeah, I'll
just do that.
I love that.
Let's do a Valentine's Day meal.
Oh, that would be good.
That'll work.
Fixed
That'll
it.
work.
Look at that.
I love this meal for Valentine's Day.
Look what happens, and I might cook with you.
No, we
No. You see the support? I'm done.
See, Marty, you'll have to come back. You'll have to come back at that.
I would love to.
Maybe he can make the appetizer, the chips and the dip.
Right.
No,
Mark,
he can bring the paper towels and the plate.
Napkins, plates, cups.
So that everybody in Facebook land and everybody that's watching this show do understand the text message that the team is about to get. You might want to pray for them, okay? That's all I want to say.
Just as long as we don't have a new team in Valentine's Day, we'll be all right.
Listen, you must have watched the show yesterday.
You must have been watching the show yesterday.
You must have been watching the show yesterday because they had a team for yesterday. It's like, that's our last Friday show. So we see you guys next year. I said, yeah, with a new team though. But we'll see you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe a different team on here, but we'll see you.
Yeah, Mark, you said something that was very, very important. I was talking to gospel artist Brent Jones on my show yesterday, and he was talking about the same thing, how 2020 has been very difficult because you guys make your money, by writing, by getting in front of folks, and what it's like, him, Ernest Pugh, all these other gospel artists now that they've had to redefine themselves during this time. And all y'all saved, sanctified, can write like crazy, but it's hard to write when you're hurting. It's hard to write when you're like, I'm supposed to be the one encouraging other people, but I need encouragement right now. And so we had that very, very candid conversation yesterday on my show about how, it's okay to say, you need to be encouraged, and that it's okay to say, I don't feel like doing this right now. I want to try something else or doing other things. So thank you for even sharing that today and your candor to remind all of us, really, you can be saved, anointed, gifted, and all of that. But I love that the Bible shows even the most gifted, David, all of them, Peter, Paul, all of them, they all had moments when they felt discouraged and they had to get through some rough times, but they got through and got on the other side. So that's what we're looking for. 2021, us getting through and getting to the other side.
All right, preacher. Come on. Come on. But you can't put your cash up, but still my cash up. But you won't be trying. You know how to guess eventually they come in and take a second offer. Nope, one off.
One pass-through.
But no, but
don't show me an app with where I can text the money at the end. We did it once.
Oh, okay. We're not having a Trinitarian offering,
right?
Benevolent fund.
But and again, Mark, just to go back to what you said, I actually was talking to some industry friends of mine now too as well. And what we have to realize is that again, people even in financial situations, because this is our livelihood, and it was literally ripped from under us like that.
Yes.
And so a lot of us didn't have anything to fall back on. So a lot of them was was shamed because they had to apply for a link card. I can show you I'll show you mine. Because again, what I mean by that is because it's simple, we have to drop that pride and understand that we're in this position now, not because of anything that we did. And a lot of people, like, you didn't do your savings. My savings is depleted. So it has nothing to do with that. It's the fact that drop your pride. If you need to talk to somebody, you can be saved. Holy Ghost. God educated us to be educated to be a therapist. So that's why that makes it's all right. You need that spiritual counseling as well as that, that therapy. You need to understand that, yes, by his stripes I'm healed, and God will provide. But if he provide with a link card, get it and go buy them groceries.
Thank you. And
it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Really, it's okay.
It is.
Because I really have friends. They're like, I have a friend. She's a recording artist. She travels. And she got a job at Amazon. And it was on her page like, you working at Amazon? You too famous for that. She's like, you got the wrong person.
Right.
Too famous.
Right.
Is anybody touring right now? Guess what? I got bills. So I had to go there and lift the box. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like, my thing is, please, everybody that's watching this show, drop the pride. And I know it's hard, especially as men. It's hard for us.
Yes.
It's hard because we want to always seem strong and feel like we can make it through, and we don't need anybody. But guess what? You do.
Yeah. We all do.
We all do. So that and get the help that you need. If that means that you got to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because the average pastor right now, seriously, they got a lot on them. Because why? They can't be in the midst of their congregation. So now a lot of them, when we go seek therapy and go seek counseling from them, they're having to find out, how do I make it? Because now I'm down to having 2,500 people in the sanctuary to only having 50. And guess what? My offerings all has changed. And this is a side of ministry as well, because now the average person out of sight means out of mind. So when a person's in person, you pass that plate, people are almost pushed to give.
Right.
But that's a whole different ministry. That's a different kind of ministry conversation too. Because why do they feel only obligated to give because they want to drop something in the plate?
Right. So thank you, Tara, for reeling me back in, because that's a whole different show. That's why she's singing producer, and that's why she does what she does, because she know how to reel me back in. Because we're getting ready to start a whole nother show. But my whole thing was, we have to drop the pride and know that we all need some help and need somebody to lean on.
That's right.
Thank you guys for being a part.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, I'm looking forward to all the amazing testimonies after this, to your point about, writing and then what kind of is coming out of your well during this time. Some of the most encouraging songs, praise and worship songs is seeing the trajectory, seeing the valley to the mountain. And, and so those are the stories that people will be able to tell maybe after, when they can, tell it from that perspective. And right now in the valley, take good notes so that you've got a good testimony when it's over.
Yes, that's good.
That's it.
So we're gonna go out and let Tara close the show. So it was good talking to you guys. Good, thank you guys.
Likewise.
We're gonna get out and let her do what she do.
All right.
Bye. We'll do my. Thank you so much to everyone who was able to join us today. How blessed are you? You've got internet, you've got a mind that can understand, you've got great vision because you saw us. Hopefully you have a lifted spirit and you were able to laugh. And we wish you a very Merry Christmas. and a prosperous, healthy, above all, and happy New Year. We'll see you in January with lots of great conversations and new content and ways to connect. So thank you. God bless you. Merry Christmas.